what they did to your family, you're lucky to make it out alive.
Streaming on Peacock.
These men are going to come after me. Taking them out is my only chance.
Put a bullet in her head.
From the co-creator of Ozark.
Looks like a family was running drugs.
Execution-style killing, it's rare for the Keys. And it leads on who they might have been running for.
The cartel killed my family. I'm gonna kill them. All of them.
MIA. Streaming now. Only on Peacock.
Where is Daredevil?
I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated.
We're gonna take this city back.
Over medicated.
In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
They say when you walk into cell block 7 of Eastern State Penitentiary, you're not alone. Even when the gates close behind you, and even when the tours end, something stays. Guards have heard screams from empty cells. Visitors have felt hands brush against them in the dark. And some prisoners, even long after death, never seem to have left at all. Because in this place, punishment didn't end at death. It only got quieter. Tonight on Haunted America, we step inside one of the most haunted prisons in the world. This is Eastern State Penitentiary and the cell blocks where the dead still serve out their sentences. Eastern State Penitentiary opened in 1829 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At the time, it was considered revolutionary. It wasn't just a prison, it was an experiment, a place built on the idea that isolation would lead to redemption. Each prisoner was placed in solitary confinement, no talking, no visitors, and absolutely no human contact. Even their identities were stripped away. Prisoners were given numbers, not names. The architecture reinforced this isolation. Long hallways stretched like veins through the prison, with cell blocks radiating outward like spokes on a wheel. From above, it looks almost beautiful, but inside, it was something else entirely. The silence was the punishment, and over time, that silence started to break people. Now, solitary confinement changes the human mind. Days turn into months, months turn into a year, but without sound, without light, and without connection, the mind begins to turn inward. Former guards and records from the prison describe inmates talking to themselves, then to the walls, and then to things that weren't even there. Some prisoners reportedly stopped talking altogether, not because they were punished, but because they simply forgot how to. Others just snapped completely. One of the most infamous cell blocks, Cell Block 4, was known for inmates who would scream for hours into the stone walls, not for help, but because silence hurt more than the sound. And it is here that the legend begins to form, because some of those screams never stopped. When Eastern State Penitentiary closed in 1971, it was already decaying. Cells collapsed, paint peeled, doors hung open like broken jaws. But when restoration workers and early tour guides entered, they noticed something strange. Footsteps echoed in empty hallways. Cell doors slammed on their own. And in cell block 12, crying could be heard late at night. One guard reported seeing a shadow figure pacing outside a locked cell. When he opened it, no one was there. I said outside. I meant inside. That's on me. Another claimed he saw a man standing in the corridor, wearing a prisoner uniform from the 1800s, only for the figure to vanish as he approached. At first, people dismissed it. Old building, wind, structural collapse. But the experiences kept repeating, and they even became more personal. Cell Block 7 is often described as the most active area in the entire prison. Visitors report sudden cold spots, even in summer heat. Some feel pressure on their chest, like invisible hands pushing them against a wall. Audio recordings have captured faint voices saying things like, "I didn't do it," and "let me out." One tour guide described locking up late at night and hearing footsteps pacing directly behind him. But when he turned around, nothing. So he continued walking, and the footsteps followed, then stopped right outside the exit gate, as if something was watching him leave. Another visitor reported seeing a full-bodied apparition sitting inside a cell, head in hands, and rocking slowly. When she blinked, the apparition was gone, but the feeling remained, like she had interrupted something private, something that never stopped happening.
Eczema is unpredictable, but you can flare less with Ebglyss, a once-monthly treatment for moderate to severe eczema. After an initial 4-month or longer dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Selling your car should feel like one less thing on your list, not one more. With Carvana, it is. Just go to Carvana.com, enter your license plate or VIN, and get a real offer down to the penny. No back and forth, no surprises, just an experience you can trust. Like your offer? Accept it. Schedule pickup, and we'll come to you with a check in hand. Your car, your timeline, your terms. Visit Carvana.com to sell your car today.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Paranormal investigators often debate what's happening at Eastern State. One theory is a residual haunting, which, we should all kind of agree on, right? The idea is simple, but unsettling. Trauma can imprint itself on a location, replaying endlessly, like a recording stuck on loop. If that's true, then the prison isn't haunted by conscious spirits. It's haunted by moments, screams that echo forever, footsteps that never reach the end of the hall, doors that slam because they were always slammed. But others believe something more disturbing, that some of these entities are aware, that they're not echoes, but prisoners who never left. Modern paranormal teams have spent several nights inside Eastern State Penitentiary, using EMF detectors, thermal cameras, audio recorders. In Cell Block 6, one team captured a spike in temperature, followed by a voice saying, "Still here." No one in the room spoke. No one nearby was on radio. In another investigation, a flashlight placed inside a cell turned on and off repeatedly without contact. When asked questions like, "Are you here with us?" investigators often receive responses in EVPs, "Yes," or worse, they get the response, "Why?" One investigator reportedly refused to return after hearing footsteps run down the cell block, followed by a loud scream right next to his ear. No source was ever found. It's impossible to separate the hauntings from the history. Eastern State was not just a prison. It was a place where isolation was considered humane, where suffering was engineered in silence. Some prisoners reportedly lost their minds within weeks. Others lasted years, alone in darkness, seeing no human face. One inmate reportedly died still facing the wall he had stared at for over a decade. No last words, no contact with the outside world, just silence. And if energy, memory, or suffering leaves a trace, then Eastern State is saturated with it. So why does this place remain so active? It's believed it's the structure itself, stone absorbing emotional residue over centuries. Others believe it's the repetition of trauma so intense that it never dissipated. And some believe something more personal, that the prison never truly closed, that the inmates are still serving sentences, not in life, but in memory, in echo, in shadow. Eastern State Penitentiary was built to isolate the living, but perhaps it did something far worse. Perhaps it learned how to hold on to them, even after death. So if you find yourself walking through those cell blocks and you hear footsteps behind you, don't assume you're alone. And don't assume they're following you, because in Eastern State Penitentiary, some things just never stopped walking. They just learned to walk without being seen.